What's going on, everybody? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports, as we're going to be breaking down the Vikings-Lions game from yesterday, as I went over, watched that game a countless amount of times last night, and I got a lot of takeaways. But before we dive into that, I do want to share some news regarding the Vikings Thursday night matchup with the Los Angeles Rams. Some disappointing news for us. Sean McVay tells reporters that Cooper Kupp is expected to return on Thursday, and on top of that, Puka Nakua's got a chance to return, and multiple starting offensive linemen for the Rams have a chance to play this Thursday. So it gets me this here real quick. Thursday is going to be a very tough spot for this Vikings team. You just had a very physical NFC North matchup against the Lions. You were going to be beat up on a short week, going and flying across the country against a very well-coached Rams team who may be 2-4, but a lot of that has to do with them being injured, and they're getting healthy. They have a big-time spot against the Vikings, so we'll talk more about that tomorrow on our preview video, but we'll start off with this. If you guys still believe in this football team, if you're not freaking out over a 2-point loss to possibly the best team in the NFL, just hit that thumbs-up icon, like today's video, show some support for our Minnesota Vikings team. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman. So what are the top takeaways? What did I see when I went back and watched that game last night? The number one thing is that this was a heavyweight battle. This was truly two of the top 5 teams in the NFL, and I think this was possibly an NFC Championship preview. Now, if I'm looking across the NFC right now, like the Vikings and Lions are probably my top 2 teams, Packers right there, but besides that, I'm not a big believer in like the Eagles, Commanders, Cowboys. The Niners obviously got a whole lot of talent, but besides the Lions and the Vikings and the Packers, there is a huge drop-off at the top of the NFC. And yesterday, this game was about as even as it can get. Clearly, the Lions won by 2 points. They had 8 more yards than the Vikings. They had 3 more first downs. Third downs were exactly even. Penalties, damn near even. Time of possession was only split up by about 2 minutes. This was truly a dead even game, and it just came down to the last couple of plays, and the Vikings couldn't convert. But after watching this game last night countless times, this was a heavyweight matchup. Like, I truly felt like this was two of the better teams in the NFL, two of the better coached teams in the NFL. And I think we're not only going to see this matchup yet again Week 18, and that Week 18 game could be for the NFC North, but it could also be for the number 1 seed in the conference. Like, that game could be the difference between the Vikings getting a first-round bye in the playoffs and then them possibly having to go on the road to, like, the Washington Commanders or Seattle Seahawks. That game will have all types of implications, but I think we'll also see it another time after that. But Jefferson, after the game, had this quote, and I thought it was pretty spot on what happened yesterday. He says, "We hurt ourselves in plenty of ways. We missed plenty of opportunities. We just got to be better, especially all of the flags we have." And, you know, my one concern, even though I do have a positive outlook after this game, is that the Vikings didn't look like they were the team off the bye. Like, you know, a big reason why I thought the Vikings were going to win but also handle the Lions yesterday was you had an elite coaching staff, Kevin O'Connell, Brian Flores. They're coming off the bye. I thought we were going to look crisp. I thought there was going to be no penalties, and we were all just going to be in motion. But with the countless false starts, I mean, Jordan Addison having his toe over the side of the football, that offside, it was just a rough game for the Vikings offensively, and I thought they should have done a whole lot more. But my second takeaway was Jared Goff. And, you know, just as NFL fans, we need to give this man his flowers because he has been playing the best football in the league at the quarterback spot this season. His last 3 games are ridiculous. You know, going perfect against the Seahawks, killing the Cowboys last week, and then yesterday versus the Vikings. He was dominant. And what was the one gripe that everybody had with Goff? If you pressure him, he will collapse. Well, yesterday the Vikings blitzed Goff on 55.2% of his dropbacks. And he went 13 of 15 for 163 yards and a touchdown on those plays. He was fantastic. And this is the biggest play of the game, in my opinion, for Goff. This was on that big-time third down. When the Lions were starting to really come back in this football game. It's a typical mug look for the Vikings. You got 7 guys lined up right here, and Goff did a great job of setting his protection where this was blocked up perfectly by the Lions offensive line, and that's on the quarterback because we saw guys like Stroud, Jordan Love, Brock Purdy not able to set his protections, and then that leads to this. You had Jared Goff having a wide open Amon-Ra St. Brown. First off, I don't know what Cam Bynum's doing on this play. I don't know his responsibilities. I'm assuming he was in a cover 1 hole, and he has to take both of the deep halves, and he just bit to Jamison Williams' side, but that left Amon-Ra wide open, and Goff, with pressure in his face, off the back foot, just floated it over the top. Like, Jared Goff, over the last 3 weeks, has been the best quarterback in the NFL. And I actually thought the Vikings defense, they did a good job yesterday. He just made plays. Jahmyr Gibbs made plays. Like, the Lions are a very talented team, and I thought overall, like, the reason the Lions won was of how good Jared Goff was against the blitz. But number 3 for me, we got to talk about the offense here, because I thought the offense had a chance to go win this football game yesterday, and they didn't. They came up short. And my biggest concern probably with this Vikings team moving forward is that, yes, their defense is very good. They are going to be one of the most dominant units in the NFL. But the one thing, they're not going to keep scoring touchdowns. Like, I think that's a little fluky, like the Metellus Peanut Tillman punch. Ivan Pace got the football, like that touchdown. Like, yes, that's a hell of a play by those two, but you can't bank on that every single week. And the offense should have won that game yesterday. When they were up 10-0, they should have stayed more aggressive. And I do want to highlight a couple plays here, because this 2-point conversion was huge looking back on it. There's 4 minutes left. You're up 29-28. They motioned Naylor. He went back, came back across, and they're trying to hit Addison on a little in-breaking route. Darnold just fired a seed. It was going nowhere. But I thought in this play, we saw it a little bit yesterday, Darnold needs to use his legs more, especially in these big-time moments. People aren't really accounting for Darnold taking off, especially if they're in man-to-man like they are. It was a little cover 2 man look by the Lions. They had 2 guys on Jefferson. Addison, it was a tight window throw. Nobody was open. So why not Darnold take off, use his legs? But also this play. Vikings are trying to close the game out right here. They go bunch and tight. Aaron Jones was out wide. They motion him over here, and you got Addison working one-on-one at the bottom of your screen. And then we get to this next thing. Darnold, you are on the short side of the field. I didn't understand this play call. You're on the short side of the field, and you're rolling out to the short side. It just has it feel so condensed on that side of the field. They're trying to hit Jefferson at the way top left of your screen on a little comeback route. Darnold missed the throw. He threw a missile over his head. But that's another big-time play where I felt like Kevin O'Connell got too cute. You could also just keep this ball on the ground, just go hand off to Aaron Jones up the middle, and just hopefully he gets 4 yards. But instead right here, you stop the clock. Lions got momentum, and we saw what happened rest. But I thought the Vikings should have stayed more aggressive, specifically in the first quarter yesterday. Like, you know, when you were up 10-0, you had a chance to really put this game away, and the Lions were completely selling out on the run. They were all about taking away Aaron Jones at first. The Vikings had chances to go play action. I mean, I saw a couple plays when I was watching All 22 last night, specifically in that first and second quarter. Brian Branch is 15 yards off the football, and he is coming down and playing the run. Like, you had a chance to take the top off the defense yesterday and really bury this Lions team. I thought they played a little conservative, played a little scared, but Kevin O'Connell, I'm still a huge believer in him. Like, I think he is one of the best play callers in the NFL, but in short yardage situations, in these big-time moments, I just see a little panic come from him. So I'll kick this question your guys' way. Grade Kevin O'Connell as a play caller as it stands right now. Throughout the whole season, I got to give him B+, A-. I'm not going to overreact to a couple bad play calls yesterday, but you guys let me know your thoughts down below. Now we'll get to more takeaways here in a second, but first, got to give a massive shout-out to today's sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. If you guys download the PrizePicks app and sign up today, you guys will get $50 instantly when you play just $5. And the best part is you don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Here's an example of a lineup I rocked with yesterday for the game. Unfortunately, I did not end up winning, but if you guys look at the top of your screen right now, Anthony Edwards, they have a deal going on where a half a point is the set total for him, and if you guys just take more on that, you guys will get one free win on PrizePicks. So that's tomorrow night at 9 o'clock as the Timberwolves take on the Lakers. So if you guys want to take advantage of that, just download the PrizePicks app today and sign up today. And you guys will get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need the win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And PrizePicks is just the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. PrizePicks, run your game. My fourth takeaway from watching it back a couple times was Brian Flores versus Ben Johnson was just absolute cinema. Like, it was really fun to watch. Obviously, my fan was kind of coming out of me during the stream yesterday where I was so frustrated with Flores and that defensive unit when the Lions went 4 straight scoring drives. But it was cool. Like, we saw 2 coordinators, like, get hot. Like, at the beginning of the game, Brian Flores, he was bringing it to Ben Johnson. They shut him out on the first 3 drives. And then Ben Johnson responded, and then he ended up absolutely dominated Brian Flores throughout the second and third quarter, but then Flores responded in the fourth, and then obviously Ben Johnson got the last laugh on the game-winning drive. But one wrinkle I loved from Brian Flores yesterday, it was on a 4th and short early on in the game, and I've never seen a team do this, where the Vikings had their 4 defensive linemen spread out, and clearly the Lions were about to go to a quick QB sneak. Right before the Lions snapped the football, the Vikings brought everything in tight. Lions had to change of play. They ended up getting a false start. I just love that little wrinkle, but I do want to highlight some negatives from the Vikings defense yesterday. So this was on the Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown run. Also, he's taking a little page out of Ashton Genty's playbook. This dude was standing up straight, absolutely terrifying sight for the Vikings defense. But what was so creative here by Ben Johnson, you guys see Metellus at the top, Harrison Smith at the bottom right here. They're clearly coming off a safety blitz. And now we get off to the next screen here. 44 and 22 are just whiffing on tackles. And now it's just a numbers game right here, because you got 2 Vikings defenders already missing on Gibbs, and he just has to make one cut right there on that 40-yard line. And then obviously Cam Bynum tried to meet him in the hole, and he just absolutely whiffed on that tackle. But quickly on Gibbs, after watching him yesterday and going and watching the tape, he is truly, I think, a top 3 running back in the league. He is so special with the ball in his hands. His moves in the open field, it feels like almost a basketball player, trying to make a crossover or trying to make something happen. He is truly sticky like that. And just watching the Lions offense and just all their weapons, they are a really effing good team, man. That's why I'm not really, tripping too much over losing by 2 to a really good team at home. You had a chance to win it. And, if you don't keep shooting yourself in the foot over and over yesterday, you probably win that game. And then we're talking about the Vikings the way we're talking about the Lions this week. But, hopefully they're able to reset and, get a little more motivated heading into this game against the Rams on Thursday. But my last takeaway, I was very impressed with Darnold yesterday. And I think, obviously a lot would have to go right. You would have to have, the rest of your team, really carry him. But I think he can win a Super Bowl. And I think with how good this defense is playing and with the weapons we have, and also keep this in mind, we didn't have our starting linebacker. We didn't have our guy that wore the green dot. We still didn't have TJ Hawkinson. And Sam Darnold got us back in that football game. He was 22 of 27, 259 yards, had a touchdown, did have that really bad interception against Brian Branch. But, he had a couple of throws yesterday that were just awesome. We can start off with the Addison one. 1st and 10, you're backed up. It's 28-20. You got a chance to really take the top off the defense. Addison's in here in the slot, and Darnold, he throws this ball from about that 5-yard line right here, and we kick it here. He took the top off the defense with this one, almost threw the ball to the other 45-yard line. It was just a beautiful throw, beautiful route by Addison. He did a great job of tracking the football. And Kevin O'Connell, can we please get number 3 the football more? He is too damn talented to not get more touches on a game-to-game basis. But I do want to show the Brian Branch pick. This was a beautiful play by Branch. So pretty much right here, Addison's running an over route right here, and he creates a lot of separation. But I think what Darnold was looking at, I don't think he saw Branch hiding behind him. So right here on the next screen, Branch actually ends up undercutting this. This is the DB who was guarding Addison. Clearly a lot of separation. And then Branch was able just to kind of like a missile just cut this off. It was a hell of a play. Obviously a bad read by Darnold, but there was another chance. Vikings are moving the football. Lions have all the momentum after scoring 2 straight times, and you weren't able to capitalize. Over and over again yesterday, the Vikings just kept making mistakes, but still at the end of the game, you had a chance. And I think that was a big testament to maybe the fight and this overall swagger and the championship kind of prowess that this team has. They're truly a special team. I'm still a believer, but a little bit of a longer show today. So if you guys made it to the end, give me a SKOL down below. Really appreciate you guys watching this whole thing. I'm not panicking too much, but definitely a trap game on Thursday. I'm a little bit nervous about the game versus the Rams. But if you guys made it to the end, give me a SKOL down below. And if you guys also want to give me a follow on Twitter, that's it right there at Pat Sieps. See you guys next time. As always, SKOL Vikes.